Hey guys, it's Gideon. If you want to get to level 25 and geared as fast as possible, this is the updated guide you want to watch. There are timestamps for every single level range in the video, and you will be getting gear appropriate for your level at each of these spots. So you're killing two birds with one stone. I'm going to try to keep this leveling guide and any other guides that I make up to date, as there are major shifts or changes in the development of the game. So if that's useful to you, definitely subscribe, toss the video a like as well. If you haven't jumped into the game and you want to do me an extra solid for free, I do have a referral link for creating your Ashes of Creation account in the description of the video. Now that we're in early access, the level 1 to 6 experience is a quest-driven experience. The game will guide you through absolutely everything. The rest of it, I'm going to walk you through the different points of interest and where to group up and level. I still recommend that you start in the Riverlands because they're still working on the anvils, but all you need to do is accept the opening quest and follow that chain all the way to level 6, possibly 7. The one choice that you'll have is to pick between Order and Conquest or Wisdom and Renewal. And that just puts you in one direction or the other, either Lionhold or Samaya's Hope, if I'm saying that right. And they're both equally valid. They're both in the Riverlands. They're just on the east side or the west side. Two different quest chains that'll take you all the way to level 6 or 7. They're both very polished, so you're not going to make a wrong choice here. This entire opening quest chain will guide you through all the major systems and features of the game. By the time you're done with this, you'll have picked new abilities and skills and have used them a bunch and understand them. You'll have done some gathering. You'll have crafted your first item. You'll have a full set of starter gear and some new weapons, which feels really great. And you'll end up with at least a couple quests and some commissions, which are repeatable quests, that will leave you with options to kind of go out into the world and start exploring and leveling on your own. Once you're at that point, the game heavily favors grouping with others to get experience. There are new quests, there are other things to do, but the best experience is to get together with a group, such as joining the guild, the Federation, link in the description for the Discord. But in all seriousness, joining a guild or hopping in the Looking for Group channel and grouping up and going to the key points of interest that I'm going to show in the rest of the video. A good deal of it is still relevant from my previous guide and I have included, but I'm also going to include some other points of interest that are interesting options, such as in the desert or the tropics area, or even, venturing up to the north a little bit. But the name of the game here is find a group that has a good composition. You've got a tank, a healer, a bard, and some good DPS. And you go there and you grind mobs and you get that experience, and you're going to get a lot of gear drops too, which is a little bit different from pre-early access. So that's kind of the name of the game. Let's go ahead and jump into the level ranges, and I'll show on the map where these points of interest are. The B-roll footage in the background should match the location that we're talking about at any point in the video, but pay particular attention to whenever I pull up the map, or pull up the map and circle an area with a blue circle. So to start with, when you're at about that level 7 mark, you want to head to the Church of the Seven Stars. And I'll show where that is on the map. When you're there, that's where you want to start finding a group. It's kind of slow if you're just trying to pick off, mobs here and there. So find a group, start leveling there. Once you're getting closer to that level 10-ish area, I would say probably at least 8 or higher, you want to find a good full group, and you want to be going upstairs in the church. There's some very difficult, well, not very difficult, but not really soloable, but there, mobs up there. And if you grind and kill those, you gain a lot of experience, and there's some opportunities to get a few pieces of gear as well. You could probably stretch that out further, but I would say once you're at 10, probably that 10 to 12, potentially beyond. There's an area called the Highwayman Hills, so it's a little bit of a trek, but you get to pick up some more Ember Springs along the way. If you're new, those are kind of like resurrection points that you pick up along the way. Once you're, let's say, 12 or a little higher, 12's probably good. You can head south from there. And once again, I'll show this on the map as well. There's a place called Oakenbane Keep. You can go from, let's say, 12 to 16 there pretty comfortably, in my opinion. Once again, don't get hung up on the exact level ranges. It's kind of in that ballpark. You definitely want to find a group. I've said finding a group a number of times. There's an LFG chat channel where you can, say, hey, I'm a cleric looking for a group, or I'm a DPS, I'm a tank, whatever. So use that. I would say more than global chat, but definitely find a group and, get some good sessions in there, and you'll gain a lot of experience, potentially some gear as well. Another spot that's worth checking out around that level 12 mark, if you travel just south of Miraleth in the desert, there's a little body of water and there's a bunch of minotaurs, and people will call it the minnow farm or farming minnows. And if you travel with a decent group around that body of water in a circle, you'll keep up exactly with the respawn rate, and that's great experience as well. So let's say 15 to 18, or maybe it's 16 to 18, and maybe you can even take it higher. Gosh, I'm going to butcher this. It's like people call it ROS. I think it's Remnants of Cephalion, probably something like that, or I'm close. I'll show where that is on the map. That's kind of southwest, I guess you could say, from Lionhold a ways. That's another great point of interest, a very dangerous area. So you want to have a full group, and you can get a ton of experience there. That's kind of the next spot that you want to kind of work your, grind your experience. Another place worth checking out, but it is a bit of a trek if you started in the Riverlands, is to head north up to the Dunehold area. There's a spot with a bunch of highwaymen, and it's great experience and great gear drops just because of the sheer number of mobs that are constantly spawning. 18 to 20 plus, you can head to Citadel of the Steel Bloom, show that on the map as well. A lot of people grind there even beyond that for gear sets. So there should be a lot of people vying for spots, which is a double-edged sword, right? Sometimes you might have to wait or pick a less ideal part of that point of interest, but there's also a lot of people always looking for group members there. So you might not have to wait as long to find a group. Once you're 20 plus, like I said, Citadel of the Steel Bloom, you can still grind and gear farm there. There's a very popular spot called the Tower of Carfin, which isn't that far away. Show that on the map as well. And a lot of people will use that for experience, for that 20 to 25, but also, they'll farm gear there as well. There's two other really good spots I want to share with you that are excellent for grinding that level 20 to 25, or even starting at 18. The first one is just south of Seahook along the beach. There's a bunch of crabs, and if you can gather them all up and burn them down over and over and over again, it's great experience. The only issue with that is it is a popular spot, and you might end up in a PvP war trying to push people out of that spot, or them trying to push you out of that spot. So an alternative that I think is just as good, or actually sometimes I think it's better, is just north of Azmoran in the desert, if I'm saying that right. There's a little point of interest called the Prismarium. It's a little pocket dungeon, and it's filled with these little shardlings that you can farm, as well as some more dangerous mobs as well if your group is good enough, but it's excellent experience. So hopefully if you follow this path and hit all of these points of interest, and when you get to that 20 to 25, you have a few different options, because those levels do take longer and sometimes those spots will be contested, but this should arm you with everything you need to get to max level and get some really good gear along the way. And that should make things easier for you when you want to explore some of the other systems in more depth, like running caravans, running crates, getting into PvP around the world, settlement wars, guild wars, all those things. You can engage in any of these systems at any point, but getting to 25 and having at least a decent set of Radiant quality gear, that's the level 20 plus gear, will really make those other activities easier and more enjoyable for you. So I hope this was super helpful. If you have other cool spots, obviously I'm not going to think of and cover absolutely everything. Share those in the comments. Would love to have a discussion about it. And until the next one, guys, peace.